What's going on, everyone? We've got some big spoilers today. Brand new article talking about the new set, as well as a few cards to go over. Big thank you to my patrons over on Patreon. We're going to jump right in. So they kind of do this with the last few sets where they give us a couple of teases about each individual, I guess, key parts of the set. And so we're just going to go through them. First off, of the bases that appear in this set, each aspect gets a base on Coruscant. Interesting. I wonder if that's just the regular 30 HP base. Coruscant is also the most common planet among the environments. The set's art pieces. There are multiple upgrades in this set that can only be played on a unique unit. It hasn't appeared on any upgrades before now. We've already seen this with Moral Authority. I believe it is what it's called. The four most common traits among units in the set are Official and Vehicle, tied for first, then Republic, then Imperial. And this set has the first villainous Republic units. We've already seen this with some spoilers already, so none of this is super surprising. However, the fact that there are a lot more Republic and Imperial units could mean that some cards from set 3 are actually a little bit better because of the Republic synergies. We will have to see. Capture returns on 11 cards in the set and 1 leader, but this time around there are 2 different twists on how it's implemented. Kind of interesting. I wonder if this is referring to one of the new cards that we're going to talk about, as it does capture in a different way. 5 of the 18 leaders in the set depict characters who have never had a unit or leader card before. Pretty cool. Cards like the cards that I think of when I see this is like Dr. Aphra as an example, random units like that. And I'm still holding out hope for those Legends leaders, right? Legends leaders, guys. This set has multiple cycles of mirrored pairs, a cycle of single aspect common upgrades with plot, a cycle of 2 aspect units with plot, a cycle of single aspect common events with disclose, a cycle of single aspect uncommon events with disclose, a pair of single aspect events inspired by the text of 2 opening crawls, and a pair of 2 aspect events based on exchange of lines between 2 characters in one of the original trilogy of films. This always makes me think of Obi-Wan and Anakin. I don't know if there's really a more iconic exchange of dialogue than those two. I always think of, building my new empire and then your new empire. I don't know. It's just, that's what I immediately think of every single time. Episode 3. Final battle on Mustafar. It is what it is. Kind of cool that they're doing some aspect or cycles of cards, that each aspect kind of has not a similar feel, but a similar style, I guess you could say. There are 11 droid units in the set. Each is either a unique, a reprint, or a new kind of droid that hasn't appeared on a unit before, and one of them has a Legends frame, guys. And my Discord's already posted this, but immediately T3M4. Immediately T3M4. For those of you that don't know who T3M4 is, he is Revan's companion in spoiler. My bad. He is your player character's companion in KOTOR 1. And he also shows up in KOTOR 2, which is kind of interesting. He goes with the exile, or kind of frees you from the place that you're in, or by sailing the Ebon Hawk into Paragus in the opening crawl, by fixing up the ship and basically getting you there, and then frees you from Paragus in general by being the absolute insane droid that he is. I'm excited for this. Any single time I see Legends frame, it just makes me super excited. Really, really cool. We have False Convert as one of the subtitles with verifiable data. I can get you inside. This makes me think of T3M4 even more. One of the things in KOTOR 1, by the way, is getting T3M4 to get you inside the Sith Embassy, or I believe what it's called. I forget the name of it. In order for you to steal the terrorist launch codes for you to fly off the planet. Stately vessel, forming coalition of a secret bloodline, on the run, undaunted diplomat, escaping justice, centuries of wisdom, inconspicuous assassin, and on the road to power. This one's interesting because I think this refers to Daedra Miro, because of just, I don't even know how to describe it, but I don't know why my brain thinks, I wonder if it's on the card actually, which is why I'm thinking of it. But also it just kind of fits the ISB theme. So perhaps that's what it's looking for. False convert. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of drawing a blank for a lot of these. False convert, have no idea. You have escaping justice. Maybe this is Ahsoka's card, which is kind of interesting, in that she fled in the later seasons of Clone Wars from an unjustified accusation. Inconspicuous assassin. I mean, maybe this refers to like HK-47. Well, actually, this is no. It's potentially a reprint. Honestly, there could be another HK-47 Legends frame. Yeah, I mean, I would love to hear what everyone else has to say. I am drawing a blank for a lot of these subtitles. Last set I was a little bit more on the ball, but only a couple of these I'm kind of really drawing a prediction from. Maybe that's not escaping justice for a second. Maybe it's on the run instead. Huh. Yeah, not 100% sure on that one. I mean, is there any legends in here? Shh. Centuries of Wisdom? Could be. You know, I think of like Darth Nihilus, maybe. I mean, I don't know if I would describe Centuries of Wisdom. Vitiate, maybe. I don't know. There's some cool things in there. But anyways, a unit in this set has the highest printed raid value. Ooh, Martian row value. A leader in an event in this set are both tied for having the most aspect icons within their text boxes. That makes sense. The following traits are rewarded by cards in the set: official, Naboo, Naboo synergies, law, droid, rebel, and transport. So I guess the three that I'm curious about: official, obviously that's what the set's built around. Naboo is interesting. We've had a lot of Naboo cards over the course of time, and I think a lot of people were really looking for Naboo synergy, which looks like we are going to get. Droid and rebel are obviously extremely relevant just because of all the droid minor synergies, and rebel even more so because of rebel synergies that have existed from set 1. One card punishes your opponent from having too many units of the same trait in their deck. A command leader in this set can deploy repeatedly throughout a game, as their deploy ability is not an epic action. Interesting. Similar to, I guess, like Trench, for example. There's a 2-card combo in this set that can theoretically deal 30 or more damage in a single attack. That's sweet. We've seen Wrecker in the Shadows of the Galaxy. Now that's introduced 2 new unique clone units with 7 power, neither of which is aggression. There is a rare card in the set with only 4 words in its text box. Wow. There is a leader in the set with no heroism or villainy aspect icons. Okay, so that's something that's a little bit different. I think that's a lot easier to play around than no heroism, or than just heroism or villainy, to be honest. So I think that's very, very interesting. A vigilance leader in this set deals damage to their own base, and other vigilance leaders deals damage to their own units. Okay, we've seen Anakin do something like this, and then Asajj kind of already doing that. And then, well, here's some of the cards. The first time this unit would take damage each phase, do something. If there are 4 or more exhausted units in play, seemingly unlikely, but this set does have a lot of ways to go wide. If a friendly unit was defeated while attacking this phase, probably some value for yourself. Each friendly leader unit gains. We've seen this card already with the raid to, I think it was Overwhelm. If an opponent attacked your base during their previous action this phase, get something, maybe something like rule with respect. When defeated, this unit had 7 or more power, maybe do something cool. Attached unit loses the force trait, and maybe it's some sort of removal for 4 specific units. This unit gets +1/+0 for each law card in your discard pile, kind of like a Captain Enoch. While you control fewer resources than an opponent, maybe ramp. When a player draws 1 or more cards during the action phase, do something. This card can't be played from your hand, maybe from discard pile or resources. Each non-leader card an opponent owns with that name, including those not in play, do something, maybe cost more. Friendly units that are rescued enter play ready. That's kind of exciting. And maybe a you win the game card. I mean, that's pretty sick. There's a lot of cool things with this set, but that's not all we have to talk about today, guys. We actually have some spoilers The first one is the Mandalorian. So this is an 8-cost ground unit in Cunning Heroism. It's a 6/8 Mandalorian bounty hunter with ambush. When this unit attacks and defeats a unit, you may choose a enemy non-leader unit. This unit captures it. So this is what I was referring to when I was talking about the capture earlier. We don't really have like this, attack, defeat a unit, capture another unit. Maybe that's like a new way of introducing capture. Honestly, this guy is very expensive. The first thought I had was it's an 8-drop. I don't really see it being played in Cunning Heroism. The one saving grace this card has is that as ambush. If you look at a lot of the cards in Cunning Heroism, the only way you're getting played if you're an expensive Cunning Heroism card typically is if you do something immediately. And if you're doing something immediately, usually you will have ambush, because that's really the only way a lot of units can do something immediately. Even a lot of the when plays aren't good enough. You got to get something in, got to get some value going. And this one is pretty good value, right? I mean, you get to kill something, maybe capture something else. I mean, that's pretty good. 6/8 body's going to make it probably live through any ambush attack, and with 6 power it probably will kill something with the ambush attack. I mean, this is kind of cool. I mean, you got Beskar Mando in the arcs. I mean, there's a lot of things going for it, but I think it's just a little bit too expensive. We will have to find out. This one is Topple the Summit. This is a 5-cost event in aggression. Deal 3 damage to each damaged unit with plot. For those of you that don't remember, plot is when you deploy a leader, you may play this card from your resources, paying the cost. Now, this card is really cool in 2 different decks. And we talked a little bit about this on my Discord already, but the first one is Mace Windu. For those of you that play Mace Windu, he comes in, deals 2 damage to some units, and then you can immediately play Topple the Summit to deal 3 damage to each damage unit, and then boom, that's kind of like a board wide. 5 damage to each unit is kind of incredible. I mean, remember, getting immediate action out of deploying your leader is very, very powerful. And this Mace Windu, when you deploy it, he does have to have damaged units on the opposing side of the battlefield, but with that deck, you're probably going to have a ton of damaged units on the opposing side of the battlefield. So it's not like incredible. Like, you're not going to get 5 damage just straight up if they have no damage on any units. Because remember, you have to damage them beforehand. So this just kind of reinforces Mace Windu's ability. On another note, who does deal damage when it comes in to all units? Kira, one of my favorite leaders to play. She'll come in, and if you're playing like Kira Red as an example, this is a very aggressive curve out, because you, on her flip turn, can wipe the board for the most part. Now, remember, it will also damage your own units. You have to be a little bit careful about this. But let's say your opponent has a bunch of units on the board. You can deal essentially their entire health bar with the Topple the Summit plus Kira flip. Kira also lives, and Kira lives as a 7/1, which is extremely aggressive. So definitely something that would be a little bit worrisome for some opponents out there. And I could see that being kind of cool. Do I think this is great? No. But do I think it's fun? Yes. We will see, though. Maybe the Kira Red has some legs, maybe with a different style of control versus Data Vault. But I mean, Data Vault's so good, and Timely Vader is so good. I have a hard time. Anyways, next one, we've got another Mandalorian with Bo-Katan. This is a 9-cost ground unit in Vigilance Heroism. It's an 8/8, and when played, give each enemy unit -3/-3 for this phase. And when an enemy unit is defeated, give an experience token to a friendly unit. Do I think this is really good? I do not. 9 drops are very expensive. The 9 drops that we oftentimes see play are like Great Dragons, because they're going to allow you to lock up the game completely, have a better body, and just completely dominate the board. The problem with Bo-Katan is -3/-3 isn't necessarily game finishing in certain spots, because maybe your opponent's playing a control deck and this isn't really what you're wanting to do. I mean, if you compare this to like a Anakin or Luke, who are like 2 to 3 resources cheaper, you are just getting so much more value oftentimes, because -3/-3 to each enemy unit it's good, don't get me wrong, but it's not really going to do as much as often as -6/-6 with a Luke, or -6/-6 with an Anakin that we see very frequently these days. It's also just a 9-drop, and you don't really get to 9 drops all that often. I'm kind of excited about it. I will be trying this one out. I love Gideon. It's one of my favorite cards to play in the game. And this is like a big Gideon, which you can kind of say is really, really sad for Bo-Katan. But I mean, I guess you get the when played as well, which is kind of cool. So big Gideon. Do I think it's good? Probably not. Probably on the weaker side of things. I think Mandalorian's better than her for sure because of the ambush, but you know, we could be wrong. We could be wrong. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below, guys. I mean, I'm really curious to hear what you all have to think, have to say rather, about the little tidbits of subtitles that that they dropped. I am completely drawing a blank. I mean, Undaunted Diplomat, I guess, could be like Bail Organa, could be Leia. You could have On the Road to Power being, you know, Ezra, honestly, or potentially Maul, potentially Revan, the Exile, the of a Secret Bloodline. I'm trying to remember. I don't know, but this is the most interesting part for me. I love kind of determining a character based on a subtitle that you can gather from the content in Star Wars. I think that's really awesome. And for me, it's late, I guess. My brain just malfunctioning. I didn't do any research before this, and so who knows? Who knows what these are? Because I don't. And I'll have to think about it for the next couple hours, because I probably will go ahead and start Googling because I'm curious myself. Anyways, thanks for watching, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed. Let me know what you think about the new set, and I will see you all for a video tomorrow.